here, short people get treated, especially. My name is Aaju Peter. I live in the Great Canadian Arctic in Iqaluit. This song is passed on from my ancestry, who have lived in the Canadian Arctic for the past 4,000 years. And it was thanks to the seal. The song goes, if you're easily frozen, if you go out hunting, you have to be mindful, you have to be careful. Because if the seal doesn't present itself, then you go hungry home. You cannot feed your family, and there's no oil for the lamp. So our hunters and our seamstresses and our families have survived in this amazing, amazing country that makes up 20% of Canada. It is twice the size as the United Kingdom, and we are only 32,000. We could invite all our friends, and we could be at the hockey game right now, and we would all fit in. Yeah. And we live in this amazing, amazing, great country, environment. So we lived in the Arctic. We still live in the Arctic. And could you believe it? Would you believe it? We are the largest commercial sealers in Canada. In the 1960s and 70s and 80s, a big movement came to, that was against sealing, this whole anti-sealing movement. Mind you, the organizers, the anti-sealers, were not aiming at the Inuit hunters, because that was our only economy. How many of you have seen the Arctic, even in film, in documentary? Yeah. Do you see any trees? I was in Europe protesting the anti-sealing, and the young man holding up the sign of Newfoundlanders clapping a seal. I said, I walked over to him with my son. This is sealskin. My son and I were dressed in all seal, and the anti-sealers didn't know what a seal looked like. Anyways, he said, why don't you just grow potatoes and vegetables? I said, well, it's all ice. How can we grow vegetables? Why don't you just move to Europe, to Holland? I said, climate change. The ice is melting, and once it's all melted, your land is going to be underwater because it's below the water line. I think you're going to be knocking on our door. People around the world, and in Canada also, are not familiar with how devastating the anti-sealing has been for my people. We are the last living hunting culture. We are still practicing hunting, and we share it. It's not for economic gain. It is to feed our people. In Canada, shamefully, the Canadian North, in the Arctic, we have the highest food insecurity. We are told that 7 out of 10 children go hungry. And you may say, well, what can we do? You can start eating seal. You can start wearing seal, because we need to up the sale of our seal market again. This is the only way we can provide for ourselves. The hunter, by his tradition and his custom, goes out on the land, on the ice, catches the seal. He comes back and he feeds his whole family, and other people who are hungry. This is local, this is sustainable, 10 million herb seals, by the way. And you don't have to fly it in. There's no contaminants. This amount of seal meat in my hand contains as much iron as 56 pieces of sausage. It is so healthy, and the omega-3 of the seal is the healthiest. we actually still have minus 40, minus 50, minus 60, minus 70, depending on where you are and if it's windy. We still have to wear the sealskin. We still have to wear fur. No man-made clothing has beaten or is on par with our traditional clothing that we've developed over 4,000 years. There is a reason why I'm so short. Our arms are shorter, our legs are shorter, our torso is bigger. You know why? It is so freaking cold. All the tall people died out. With this whole anti-sealing campaign, I just wanted Gabe Nglungayok wrote to me because he saw I was going to Europe protesting their anti-sealing. And he wanted me to share his story when I could. And he said, my grandfather made fires with no flint or lighters. He cooked meat with no pots. He caught hundreds of fish with no nets. He slept outside with no tent. And the list goes on. I am very, very proud of him. He was a very independent man. He could sell sealskins and purchased hunting equipment to continue his livelihood. But during the 1980s, the sealing was hit hard by the anti-sealing movement. I have seen a very proud man turn to be a dependent man on social assistance. He was broken. Thinking about it now, it breaks my heart. Thank you.